Welcome back, everyone. This is the Darkwing Duck character overview. For this overview, I will expect you to already know and understand the rules for Funkoverse because this will be a detailed evaluation of Darkwing as a character. This is the character card for Darkwing Duck from the Darkwing Duck 100 pack. He is a gray-blue character with 2 defense. Darkwing's trait is I am the terror that flaps in the night, and it says, at the start of Darkwing Duck's turn, if no rival can see him, place him adjacent to a rival that is within 3 squares. Darkwing has one of my favorite traits in the game, and I always see place actions as a better form of a move, and at best case you could place Darkwing up to 4 squares away with this trait. Another positive about this is that you don't even need to see the rival to use it. This means that they could be on another side of a wall or obstruction, and you can still be placed adjacent to them. And all of this is before Darkwing even starts his turn. This can be great for setting up some of Darkwing's amazing abilities and gaining positional advantages in scenarios like flags. Darkwing's first ability is Let's Get Dangerous. This ability is a 2-cost gray challenge ability that says, Challenge 3, roll 1 extra die if there are 2 or more adjacent rivals. If you've watched some of my other character overview videos, then you will know how much I love cheap challenge abilities that will allow you to roll 3 or more dice. This ability is very similar to Sally's Nightshade Soup, but with a slightly different requirement on rolling the extra die. Most of the time you can leverage this extra dice by how you place Darkwing with his trait, and it is a lot easier to get that extra die when there's more rivals and maybe companions on the board. But then again, it can also be difficult to use his trait to place him adjacent with that many rivals on the board who can potentially see him. It is a delicate balancing act to try to master that, but if you can master it, it is a lethal way to surprise your opponent and knock out rivals. Darkwing's second ability is Daring Duck of Mystery. This ability is a 3-cost blue ability that says Move 3. Then, if Darkwing Duck started this action adjacent to a rival, do an assist or interact action. Most of Darkwing's kit depends a lot on his trait, and this ability is no different. While I do think the 3 cost is a little steep, it is an improved version of Morty's I don't know about this ability with the extra movement. This ability is great on maps where the point markers are a little more out of the way, and it's also amazing on control, where Darkwing will almost always be near rivals and can leverage that to flip multiple control markers in a single turn. Even at worst case, this ability can just be a 3-cost move 3, which, while it may not be worth it, it could be used in desperate situations where you need to contest the territory or get to the flag on the last round. Darkwing's last ability is Incredibly Resilient. This ability is a 1-cost gray ability that says Stand Darkwing Duck up. Darkwing Duck can do this while knocked down. This ability is what wraps Darkwing Duck up as an amazing all-around character. Being knocked down in Funkoverse is one of the worst spots to be in because then you're just left with rallying or wasting another character's turn to assist this character. In this case, you can just stand Darkwing Duck up and still get an extra action in that turn. Managing action economy is key to winning games, and at a 1 cost, this ability will single-handedly win you games in all scenarios. Now we're going to take a look at some great pairings with Darkwing Duck. Some of the characters I've chosen today are Sae-Byeok, Sally, Batman, and Night King, and then I've also chosen the Gas Gun, which is probably the best attachment for Darkwing. Darkwing could potentially work out with every blue-gray character in the game, but I did restrain myself to just 2 of them here today so we could look at some of the more diverse teams for Darkwing. First, we're going to look at Darkwing and Sae-Byeok. Sae-Byeok is a gray-blue character with 2 defense. These 2 characters work well because they both act as a sneaky yet high challenge character, and I love using this duo in scenarios like territory and flags, where having a fast-moving character is great, but also each of these characters have a minimum of a challenge 3 to help defend themselves. They also work well in leaders, where you can use Darkwing Duck as your leader, and then Sae-Byeok as your bruiser, who can also use Intimidating Command to move rivals towards Darkwing for an easy cleanup with him. On top of all of this, they share the same ability token colors, which benefits Sae-Byeok, who thrives on having a lot of blue and gray ability tokens. You could even add Fog Juice to this duo to improve Sae-Byeok's Sucker Punch just a little more, but you obviously do not need it for them to work together. Next, we have Sally. Sally is a blue-gray character with 2 defense that comes with a detachable arm minion token. As we said earlier with Let's Get Dangerous and Nightshade Soup, they both provide a cheap and decently easy way to do a challenge for, and that really goes a long way for both of these characters. If you gave this team Fog Juice as well, you could easily knock out a rival and still have a gray left over to stand up Darkwing in a jiffy. On top of that, Sally also has an easy way to avoid getting knocked down like Darkwing, which means that they can split up and go their separate ways while still remaining just as powerful. This duo really works great on a scenario like Flags, where Darkwing can gather point markers while Sally just keeps swapping with her arms to gain points from the flag. Next, we have Batman. Batman is a blue-red character with 2 defense. Both Batman and Darkwing Duck have the same ability that allows them to stand up while knocked down. And the great thing about this is that they both use their own ability token color for it, so there should never be a case where you don't have an ability token to stand them up. Both of these characters also benefit from being in the action and around rivals. Batman gets an extra defense, and Darkwing gets the extra attack and mobility, which makes this duo great for territory and leaders, as you're able to knock down rivals as well as prevent yourself from the same fate. You will have to be mindful, however, of how you use your blue ability tokens with this team, because if you use 2 of them in the same round, you will be stuck without a blue for 3 rounds, so be mindful of that. The last character we have is Night King. Night King is a gray-yellow character with 2 defense that comes with 2 white minion tokens. Night King having 2 minions helps allow you to hide Darkwing a little easier by making sure that they block the direct line of sight to Darkwing. Having the ability to more readily activate Darkwing's trait is the main reason this duo works so well. Being able to place Darkwing adjacent to rivals at the beginning of a turn and use Let's Get Dangerous a couple times is what makes Darkwing a scary character to go against. Another thing on top of this is that Night King has a reliable ranged ability for knocking down rivals from a distance. And you could even add a character like Ron Weasley to this team to take advantage of the minion tokens and the colors that Night King provides. The attachment we have today is the gas gun. The gas gun is an item that says at the start of this character's turn, you may place or move a smoke token onto a square you can see within 2 squares. Smoke tokens are obscured terrain. It really shouldn't be a surprise that the attachment that comes in the same set with Darkwing is his best attachment. The main key to taking advantage of the gas gun is that you get to use it at the very beginning of your turn. Since this is also the same time as Darkwing's trait, you get to choose the order, which in our case, we always want to use the gas gun first. You can place the smoke token on a square Darkwing can see within 2, which includes the one he is currently in. This then means that if there are no adjacent rivals, Darkwing can now no longer be seen by anyone. This is the easiest way to activate his trait and get him back into the action, as well as disrupting characters with ranged abilities and not allowing them easy chip shots at your characters. If you are going to use this attachment, I would highly suggest you add Dr. Finkelstein as an ally, because he is able to use the smoke tokens for his ability It's Alive. And if you're playing on a scenario like Leaders and you use that to knock out a character, the credit for the knockout goes to the character who put the token in play, which in our case would be Darkwing Duck. And if he is your leader, you get bonus points for that. Now we're going to analyze a specific lineup for Darkwing. This lineup consists of Raptor, Black Widow, and Fog Juice can go on any of these 3 characters. With this lineup, you are not only taking advantage of an all blue-gray lineup, but the fact that all of these characters have a way to stand up without needing assisted. Raptor needs to keep placing her ambush tokens and always make sure you have at least 1 down. If you are playing a scenario like Flags, you want to try to always have 1 or 2 of those ambush tokens near the rival flag. In territory, you will take advantage of Black Widow's Hurricane Throw to push your rivals out of the territory and then use Darkwing's Let's Get Dangerous to finish them off. And Fog Juice is really only here because you have 6 different gray abilities, and you really can't sub it for anything else. You need the extra gray ability to maintain a solid ability token pool. I mostly like this team because there's a good strategy for them on any scenario, and this includes the random one-off scenarios like basketball and even red light, green light. As we have done with all the other character overviews, we will end by doing a quick overview of Darkwing's scenario stats. This data has been collected by members of the Funkoverse community over the past couple of years, and the chart here is compiled from about 90 games with Darkwing Duck. On the chart, the areas in blue are wins and the areas in red are losses for each scenario. Darkwing tends to shine in leaders, and that is especially with him as the leader, but control and territory seem to be lacking. This is quite surprising because Darkwing has the tools necessary to win in control and can easily contest and knock down rivals in territory. I'm unsure why the percentages are the way they are, but I definitely would never count Darkwing out in any scenario he plays, including those ones. With all of that said, my final evaluation of Darkwing Duck is that he is an all around great S tier character that is a great addition to almost any team. His kit fits the character's personality great, and he is a well worth it one pack. I'd like to thank you guys for watching the video. Comment which character you'd like to see next, and let me know what you think of Darkwing Duck as a character. If you would like to see some gameplay of Funkoverse, be sure to check me out on Twitch from the link in the description. And if you're interested in joining the Funkoverse Discord, that link will be in the description as well. I'll see you guys next time.